I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, do solemnly swear
I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the President's Guy, and I thought we would have a kind of more discussion-based video today. I'm going to put the other ones on hold for now just because I think this is important to talk about. For those who didn't see it, the first video on this channel that I made was a documentary on the Biden presidency. And a section of it was dedicated to Biden's declassification of a lot of different things, including documents into the JFK assassination and into the 9/11 attacks and all that good stuff. Well, it's kind of been in the news as of late about Trump declassifying several documents, and those thousands of them, actually I think around 1,200 I think have been released, and you can go look at them yourself. But I thought it'd be worth just kind of talking about it for a second because there's a lot of confusion that's going around. First of which is, up until this point in time, the vast majority of the JFK documents have already been released. And what I have on the screen here right now is a, go ahead and widen that, is a USA Today article from December of 2022. And this is when Biden released a lot of the documents. And the reason I want to bring this up is because it's not about people taking credit, but it's about having the right information. And people are going to say that Trump declassified all of these, and he did declassify some, and that's certainly the truth. But, you know, if you read this article, you know, the math is in that 97% roughly of the documents pertaining to the JFK assassination were released by this point in time, by around Christmas of 3 years ago. And according to this article, there are about 515 documents that were withheld in completion, so you couldn't see any of it, and about 2,500 that were partially withheld, so you could see part of the document. So what was the majority of this at the time? A lot of it comes down to stuff involving Oswald. So one of the things that came out around this time was some of the CIA's information that Oswald was back channel communicating with people in Russia. And it talks about his trips abroad, and kind of just goes into more detail into that area. As this article remains, some of the things that won't come out are some of the things pertaining to President Kennedy's death. And at this time that this was released, they were talking about what documents are being withheld, and they were kind of working at explaining why certain things were withheld. And it could just be something as simple as, you know, the president's personal medical records, all that kind of thing. So it's hard to say. And basically, and what came down to this is again, nothing revelatory came from it, because of course anyone with common sense knows that Oswald did this as a crime of opportunity. He started working at the depository a few months beforehand. He knew Kennedy was going to be there. He knew he had an opportunity, and he took it. This comes after a 2021 release where, again, not much came out of it, and there was a little bit of criticism towards Biden to release more, and then, of course, he did. And a lot of this comes down to, there was a law passed in the 90s called the JFK Act, and so within 25 years of this point in time, so that would have been 2017, that the documents had to be released. But it gave discretion to the president as to whether or not could be postponed. And according to the CIA at this time, a lot of the things that they're holding are kind of like the information of some of the operatives or people who are gathering intelligence, just, you know, for their safety's sake. But arguably, it could be said that, you know, after 60 some odd years that most of those people have passed, or, you know, there's, you know, it could be some other risk also to their remaining family. So, and then if you want to look kind of back historically, there was a release of documents from 2021 from Biden, about 1,500, and about 2,800 in 2017 that Trump released. And of course, as of today, this is recorded on the 19th. I believe yesterday the documents came out. 63,000 pages, over 2,100 PDF files, and the National Archives has a link where you can go to kind of read these. Again, it's going to take a long time for people to, both historians and just, casual readers, to go through these things and analyze them and see what's in them. And we may even see further, because according to the Justice Department, there was a total of 80,000 pages, so there may be another 17,000 to come out. But the kind of important thing here is we have to, and this is such a red or a gray area, because people on either side of the fence, whether you are someone who believes in the official narrative that Oswald did it and he acted alone, or you are someone who is on the opposite side that believes that there is a larger conspiracy at work, both sides of those people, and I'm in the former than the latter, are going to look for anything to confirm what they already believe. I am someone who used to subscribe to the idea of the Kennedy assassination conspiracy. I no longer do. And part of that comes down to Vincent Bugliosi's book, Reclaiming History. It's 1,700 pages dedicated to the Kennedy assassination, biographies into Kennedy and Oswald, looking into the Warren Commission, and all that, basically determining kind of what is the origin of the conspiracy, why did it start, and is there any truth or credibility to it? And the short answer is no, there's not. Sean Munger did an excellent, about 2.5-3 hour video breaking all of this down for those who don't have the time to read a 1,700 page book, but I would highly recommend either of those. Perhaps the book after you watch the video, but either way. But what kind of, so far, there's nothing revelatory here, right? And you wouldn't expect there to be, and that could either be because, one, the truth is still the truth, or two, because they're going to claim there's still some nefarious means behind the government holding anything that hasn't been released. And some of the things that have come out have been documents pertaining to people saying XYZ about Oswald met with so-and-so, or Oswald said he was going to kill Kennedy, or Oswald and Ruby did this, that, and the other. And a lot of these, if not all of these instances, these documents are from the 70s, the 80s, where people retroactively are going back and saying, well, this is what I heard at the time. And while you shouldn't dismiss those things outright, you have to weigh them against the preponderance of evidence. Meaning, what is more likely to be the truth? Is it that someone spilled the beans after all this time? Or the more likely answer that someone's just trying to cash in, get their 15 minutes of fame, get some attention, perhaps sell a book, which is where a lot of the JFK conspiracy stuff has come in, is people trying to sell books, and that's where a lot of conspiracy theories actually originate, is people are trying to sell you something. So the whole point of this diatribe is that as these documents are analyzed, look at them as unbiasedly as you can, because there may be something revelatory in there. We don't know. There's a lot that needs to be gone through, and it's going to take time, perhaps even years. As I mentioned in the Nixon video, the Haldeman card that kind of confirmed that Nixon knew about the Chenault affair was declassified in 2007, and it wasn't noticed until 2018. Now, this is obviously something that people are looking under far more scrutiny than that, because I think it's somewhere 40 to 50% of Americans believe in some aspect of the conspiracy theory around President Kennedy's death. But as you look through these, just try to think about what these documents are, what they're actually saying, and the time period in which they're from. And that will be vastly important into determining, what you take from them. So I just thought it important to kind of just put that out there, because there are a lot of people who are looking at this on both ends, trying to confirm their biases, whatever they may be. And let's all just try to stay in the middle, be as objective as we can, and remember, never stop learning.